Hey guys, welcome to today's episodes of Business Talks with Saakshi. And today we have with us Meghna Shah. She is the founder for CrissCross Lingo. And before I tell you anything, it's better that she tells her entrepreneurial journey of how she started and moved her business forward. So, Ms. Meghna, over to you.
Thank you so much, Saakshi. Anyways, I have a very different journey. Rather, for every young girl, I should say my journey would be an inspiration, 110%. Because when I just married and when I was young, just finished my college, I always wanted to be a teacher and wanted to have my own coaching center and to begin with teaching French and or computers, something to do on my own. But coming from a service background, my father was not so inclined towards it. And always, as a girl's father says, okay, you'll get married, you'll go somewhere, you don't know what life carries on. So I had to just shut up. I worked as a professor, as a computer professor some years, and then got married. And the person whom I found in my life and fell in love with was a Gujarati businessman who again came from the business background and decided that ladies in the family don't work. So I was a little disturbed about that. They made me quit my job. And as you say, love is blind. At that age, I quit my job and I became a total housewife. But yes, that didn't suit my personality at all. So I started studying. After finishing MCom, I got married and I did my MBA. I did my diploma in international management, diploma in computer management also, just to keep myself updated with the world and not feel like a typical housewife there. In the whole process of studying, I gave birth to two young, smart kids, and I always thought I could bring them up in a very different manner. So I took up to bringing them up without having those things in my mind that I'm not supposed to work. Yes, I did get into a lot of depression many times that I'm wasting my life and my education. But rather, when my son came to class 5, the first day he had the subject called French as an optional subject. So I helped him take up that subject, and his friends told me that Auntie teaches French. And that's why I grabbed the opportunity, and without even asking anybody, or rather, nobody objected to it in the family, I started giving home tuitions quietly. Nobody objected to it. And I went on giving these home tuition. It gave me a lot of gratitude and very nice. It felt very gratifying and everything. And for 20 old years, I did that. By that time, my children grew up. They have their own wings now. They are 24 and 20. So they have in their own life. They have settled them well in their life. They are into their own fields. And now, after so many years, just the last 3 years back, I started CrissCross Lingo. That's when nobody stopped me. And now I can do what I feel like. I'm a total entrepreneur. And I've taken this up as teaching foreign languages all under one roof. So I have Spanish, French, German, Italian, Korean, Portuguese, Japanese, Chinese, as well as all regional languages. So that's when I sat on my office seat and felt so happy. And it is that when the right time comes, I think everything falls in its place. So that was my actual journey. In the meantime, I learned Mandarin, and till my kids came to taking up college. My daughter, who's 20 now, is doing law. So when I was waiting for her to start her life at the university, and then so I learned Mandarin, and I met my professor there, who's a young girl who has a baby of 3 years. So she herself had the same thing in her mind to open her own coaching center, but she was waiting for time. So we both held hands together and started CrissCross Lingo with all languages together. So she's a Mandarin expert, and I'm into teaching French as well as Mandarin and English. So this is how my journey of CrissCross Lingo started. So when time comes, everything falls in place. That is for sure.
That's right. When time comes, everything falls in place. And what an amazing story. I mean, definitely people are going to inspired by listening to your story. It's not easy to take that break of so many years, jump back, and that too, like something which you had little bit knowledge about. Definitely knowledge has been your core strength, is something that I can see. But taking it to a level where you call it as a business is something that you have achieved, and it really feels great to listen to your story. So coming down to my next question, I would definitely like to know, like, when you are also a solo entrepreneur, and I'm also a solo entrepreneur. I help many solo entrepreneurs, and like, while we start, while we have that idea in our mind and we take it to a branding level, there are various challenges that we face. So what are the different challenges that you faced while turning it into a brand, CrissCross Lingo?
The only challenge I faced was grabbing teachers for all the other languages that I have, because I myself know only French. My partner, she knows Mandarin, but we wanted to capture other languages also. So the challenge was to find good teachers, and touch wood, we found good teachers. And actually, we wanted not professional. We wanted teachers who are like us in doing it for passion, because I'm not doing it for any way for bread and butter. It's my passion that is carrying me over at this age, because I could have been just whiling away my time and enjoying kitty parties and living a free kind of a freedom life, but I wanted to continue my passion, and this is one thing I longed for from the childhood. So for that I faced these challenges, but yeah, today I am doing a lot of networking, and because of that, I managed to get a good brand, and thanks to COVID, because we could touch the globe because of COVID. And that's how I met you, Saakshi, thanks to
Yeah,
online
definitely.
stuff.
Yeah, we also met through the online world, and definitely we might meet someday offline also. So
Yeah.
basically, when we start a brand, we move ahead, and like, whatever the initial challenges be, but the next challenge is to sustain in the market, that every entrepreneur faces, because there are many big players already in the industry. They are doing it well. And so, like, what's your USP that makes you different and lets you stand in such a competitive market?
The difference is that I cater to even one-to-one. I don't wait for batches to begin. This is one thing I learned when I was looking out for Mandarin classes in Ahmedabad itself. There was no institute who was letting me take in, because there was no other person who was wanting to learn Mandarin the day I felt like learning Mandarin. So they were waiting for batches. They wouldn't cater one-to-one. That's when I had taken up this. Whenever I begin my classes, I will cater to even one-to-one, because I feel in case you come to me for learning a language, it's not necessary has to be someone else who's in the mood of learning it on that very day. So I feel you lose the interest to it the very next day. If I tell you that there is no batch, wait for a batch, you might lose interest to that spur of a moment you are wanting to learn something badly. So that's why my USP is that we start one-to-one batches also. We take up one-to-one itself immediately, and nothing great more than this. This is the best USP that I'm offering, because a lot of people who come up telling me this, good, you begin, you don't wait for batches. So when they feel like on the spot, they begin to learn a language. And we don't have rote learning methods. We have all friendly game learning methods. So after we teach numbers, we play housey in the particular language. So that's a way of testing numbers, but yeah, in another way, in a game kind of a way. So we have a
Gamified.
lot of games. Yeah. So we have fun learning methods basically.
Wow. So we have normally seen, people talking a lot about gamified learning and how you should gamify the learning experiences of kids, of students, of even of, like, adult learners. And that's something that you are implementing in your structure. So that's really great. And hats off to you for that. Alongside, we have also seen that when COVID came in, like, as a pandemic to the world, and there were a lot of things that scaled up very fast, specifically, like, if we talk about the technological advances. So there was a time, like, the changes that used to happen, that might have happened in the year 2025, just happened in the year 2020. So how did your business take it ahead, like introducing technology as a mode of running your business?
As soon as, actually, my partner, she's an engineer. So basically, she's very tech savvy. So immediately we just studied the market once the COVID began. We had just started the office, and this happened to us. But generally, I got a little disturbed when it all started. Suddenly, everything came to a stop. But then we managed to study the market and get good rates from the market and competitive rates. And then we started teaching online batches on Zoom. And we transferred from offline to online and started taking the change. And in March itself, we had started and we touched the globe, because I joined a lot of networking groups all over the world. And that's how I started, telling people about CrissCross Lingo, and we got students from all over the globe today. So in March itself, we could manage it.
Wow. So I think all the viewers who are watching this video, I think for them, the learning is like, you need to be dynamic. You can't keep on following the old ways being an entrepreneur, but you need to change it. That's something that Meghna has depicted in her system, that she changed herself. She changed the techniques as fast as she could. And that's why she was able to sustain that gap, fulfill that gap, and move her business ahead. So a really nice hearing like what you did within a short span of time. I know it would have been like a tough task, choosing everything, doing everything when online learnings were not so common in India, like specifically if we talk in India. So what are the services and like what are the plans that you serve now under CrissCross Lingo?
We do online, we teach online all the languages as well as all regional languages also. This is one thing also we have started during the COVID. We realized that's the need of the hour. So we do curriculum based. We start classes from 8 months of age also. We have attached ourselves to schools here, as well as we want to touch every play school where we can teach kids. We have particular kits made wherein they have flashcards as well as activities according to age appropriate activities. For that, I have had a in-house early childhood trainer with me, who, because since we are language experts, we wouldn't know how to touch the minds of the kids at 8 months of age. So for that, we have somebody on in-house itself who gives us the training for the early childhood. And we have touched the kids also. So I want to touch all the play schools and see that every child is trained in a foreign language.
Like you start as low as 4 years.
8 months. 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, we've already been teaching Spanish and French to 8 months.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, and like, what's the upper scale of the age?
80, 90. No, age is no bar with CrissCross Lingo.
Wow, that's amazing. So even when that reminds me when I was young, and since I've been from a convent school and all that time, like convent schools were like places where like people used to love to put their kids into. Even today, like if you want to be a little bit of discipline, I think convent has that kind of education that makes you disciplined. But okay, so basically, even I want to learn that French part, where I thought of learning a foreign language, but because at that time the resources were not so easily accessible, that made difficult, to learn. And if you did it that time, I mean, I can understand, like, you learned French that time, you are implementing it even today, like, teaching it to others, passing it on to others. So definitely you have a great experience to in the languages, and that's really great to hear about. So how do you plan to scale your business up? Like, how do you look forward to take this ahead? And are you trying to pitch, like, international learnings or something like that? I mean, what's your plan for the years to come?
For the years to come is this, that every school should have CrissCross Lingo attached as their foreign language partner in all over the world, rather, I say. So I'm trying to, and I want to get myself to France somewhere to teach the kids there also, because there are a lot of Indian kids there. A lot of Indian men and women are learning. So now to touch the kids in the coming years.
Wow, that's amazing to hear so many nice insights from you. And definitely we would love to talk more and more and more, but time restricts us. And we finish our talk here today with gathering so much insights upon how you started your business, and you being a believer of, like, when it needs to happen, it will happen. You just need to go with the flow. That's something that even I believe in, that just go with the flow. Whatever is going on, just go with the flow. Let things happen. Don't just restrict yourself. Sometimes even we push our minds ki if we'll do like this will happen. We worry about consequences. We worry about what will happen next. So that is something that limits our mind. It limits our mindset, and that's something that should not be done by the entrepreneurs. So today's learnings, I think, for the viewers would have been amazing with this video. And definitely thank you, Ms. Meghna, for your time. And me and my team from Mindynamics, we wish success to you ahead. As a business owner, I have been through journeys of ups and downs. I have been through a journey where my physical health was not supporting my mental health, and that both started conflicting and it started affecting my business. I know many of you are in such situations. I know we are in such situations as a solo business entrepreneur where we get stuck at one place and we find it very difficult to move on. Fortunately, I had mentors in my life who supported me always and helped me at every stage of my business. I could get this, but I know many people don't get this all. I could relate to the concept because I was from a corporate background. But I know the pains of the people who are not from a corporate background. They have never done jobs, but they start with a business model. Now, if you are someone who is a solo entrepreneur running the business solely, then I have something for you. Here is a book that I have curated specially for solo entrepreneurs and small business owners. We have some motivational stories, some business secrets revealed by some of the top entrepreneurs who are successfully doing their business today. Right away, just click down in the description box, click on the link and grab your copy today.